Alright, guys, first of all, I just want to give a little apology for feeling a bit under the weather, as the British say. I think Americans say that too. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, I watched What If Season 3, Episode 3. Yes, that's this one, the one where Red Guardian teams up with the Winter Soldier. So I will say, right off the bat, the best episode of the season. I will also give this to What If Season 3. I started off very whatever on the season. It's getting progressively better. Like, I enjoyed episode 2 more than episode 1, and I'm enjoying episode 3 more than episode 2. Now, I did see that the next episode is going to be one where Darcy teams up with Howard the Duck, and that could go either very well or very poorly. We're just going to have to wait and find out. But in this episode, it starts off really cool with the Red Guardian, being sort of dismissed by the Russian government. And this whole episode is kind of interesting because I think what they're essentially doing is they're sort of showing how Russia in the MCU transitioned from World War II into the Cold War, where Red Guardian is very like, I am the Red Guardian, I am the symbol of Mother Russia. But then when you get into the Cold War, everything's a lot more secretive and covert and whatnot. And so Red Guardian doesn't really find a place for himself in this new era. And I think all of that is very interesting. And they also kind of show how the Red Guardian is kind of jealous of the Winter Soldier because the Winter Soldier is the guy who they send out to kill Maria and Howard Stark. But yeah, I like the little montage here where they show the Winter Soldier being given his mission, and then they also show the Red Guardian not following orders, but instead going off to do the same mission as the Winter Soldier. And they kind of show them both, doing it at the same time, which that was actually a fun little editing thing. But yeah, then I guess the whole what if scenario here begins with Red Guardian stopping Bucky from killing the Starks. And so from then on, it kind of turns into this like road trip situation with the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier. And I thought that all of that was was just very entertaining, right? You have the Red Guardian like preaching at a fast food worker, trying to like turn her into a socialist or whatever. I thought that was pretty fun. The other interesting thing about the episode was how Giant Man was in it. Now, I think, because I saw that Lawrence Fishburne was in this. Well, he was in the credits he was in like the opening credits. I think the Giant Man in this episode is supposed to be the guy that Lawrence Fishburne played in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think. But it was kind of weird because he's not a scientist in this one. He's like an FBI agent. So I don't know if that's a part of a what if scenario or if that guy has always also been an FBI agent in the past. I don't really know. But yeah, then Bucky, he's given the mission. He's like, you must kill the Red Guardian or whatever. But then they have like a little heart to heart situation where the Red Guardian gives him like a bit of an inspiring speech or whatever to Bucky. He sort of helps Bucky remember something about his past, and that's kind of like the really interesting point, because I kind of like how the Red Guardian in this is very much treated like Captain America himself for the United States, where the Red Guardian kind of represents the best parts about, what Russia is kind of like ideally supposed to be, where it's like, yes, obviously socialism, people are going to have their ideas as to whether it works or doesn't work, but the sort of moral aspect of it is, commendable to a certain extent. And you very much see here that Red Guardian, he sort of represents the idealistics of that ideology, the same way that, sure, America has a bunch of things about it that aren't good, but Captain America represents the best of what America is ideally supposed to be. So I really liked what they did with Red Guardian in this episode. Honestly, something that I don't really remember them doing with him in Black Widow. Obviously he'll get more screen time in Thunderbolts, but this one episode of What If actually makes him a pretty interesting character. We also get, I don't think they ever explicitly say his name, but I think this is just supposed to be Obadiah Stane, right? I think. Um, and did they ever like here? They say that he put the hit out on the Starks. I'm trying to remember. Did they ever explicitly say in the first Iron Man movie that? I think they did actually. Now that I think about it, I think he always was the one that killed the Starks, right? Am I right or wrong about that? Well, to be clear, Obadiah Stane made a deal with the Russians for the Russians to kill the Starks, but you know what I mean. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if that was always the case. But either way, I mean, it obviously makes sense. Um, but but yeah, and then like Red Guardian has like this like he starts having like this realization that that Russia has been working with the capitalist pigs, as he puts it, and he realizes that he himself has been working with the capitalist pigs, as he puts it. And yeah, it's kind of like a funny little scene there, where he comes to the realization, kind of how Captain America has sort of came to that realization in like Civil War, that like, or I guess really in the Winter Soldier, right, where he realizes that everything isn't black and white, and that he kind of needs to figure out what he wants to do for himself and whatnot. So I kind of like that what they did there. And there's like a fun fight where, well, I guess first of all, the Bucky kills Obadiah Stane, which obviously changes the course of history in that way as well. But yeah, then they have like a fun fight with Giant Man. Um, but then yeah, then I guess the episode ends with like Bucky seemingly. I was trying to understand exactly what they were going for. I think Bucky kind of broke from the control that the Russian government had on him, because they keep on trying to get him to say what happened to the Red Guardian, but Bucky is seemingly not mind controlled anymore. But he still, I guess, wants to work with the Russian government, probably because it's the only thing he knows how to do. I think that's what's going on there. I could be wrong though. But yeah, Guardian, he like stays in America, and he's like became like a football coach or whatever. But then the government is like, "Come join us, Red Guardian. We need you." And so it kind of ends with showing him in the in the first Avengers movie, which is kind of funny. But yeah, overall, really strong episode. I really enjoyed it. We'll see if they can continue with this pace, or if Darcy and Howard the Duck Adventures is going to be a cringe episode. We'll see. But let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.